Alright everybody, what's going on, and welcome to the setup episode. I'm not sure if I'll call this episode 1 or what, but this is, yeah, I'll probably call this episode 1. What's going on everybody? This is localized content on YouTube, localized_ content on Twitch, and this is high school basketball on NBA 2K21. I've taken several days to set this up, and I am finally been able to do it. Let me explain real quick, and that's really what we're going to be doing this episode. We're going to be explaining the different things that make this different from a regular 2K series. Thing number one, see the teams? We got 18 different teams, high school teams, scattered across Ohio and Pennsylvania. And these aren't your, like, crazy basketball schools for high schools. These are like high schools that, you know, regular high schools, like high schools that I played against. You know, there might be a 5'7", 5'8" point guard and like a 6'4", 6'5" center. That's the kind of high schools we got in this series. Yeah, the way we're going to determine who's here. I don't want to introduce my roster yet, so we'll go over to the Warrior Frogs. The way we're going to determine who's who, let's go right here. There's a ton of shooting guards. Now we'll go right here. Here's easier to explain. Right here, see their ages? Let me explain. Everybody has a birthday on January 1st. Every single person in the league. So they'll all turn a year older at the same time. 25-year-old, 24-year-old, 23-year-olds. The difference between these is this is a senior, this is a junior, this is a sophomore, and let me find a freshman. Here's a freshman, 22 years old. So at the conclusion of the season, at the very end of the season, when the season's all over and we're in the off season, we're going to delete all players that are now 26 years old. So he'll turn 26 on January 1st. He'll finish that season, but at the end of the season, he'll be deleted from the roster, and then I will personally create freshmen to replace the seniors that graduate. So we're not going to be doing it through the draft. In fact, the draft class is filled with all 40 overalls. Draft picks don't matter. Of course, there's no trades, no salary cap. Well, there's salary cap, but it's not going to change anything because, see, they're 4 years, $3.5 million, so it's not going to affect it. Free agents, there's not any. There is, but they're not going to be used. See, like, none of these guys are going to be used, unfortunately. Like, I didn't add any of these guys. I added a bunch of these guys. So there's 18 teams, all with 15 players on it, all high school players that range between 25 to 22 years old. Yeah, there's 18 teams, and we are taking control of the Hershey High School Cougars. So that's our team. A couple other. Let's go through the rest of the teams, and then we'll introduce the rule changes that makes this different from an NBA game. So let's see here. Let's go settings and team selection. That should get you a good enough idea. We got 18 teams. Let's see if I can remember. I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember, actually. So, yeah, this ain't going to work. I need to go grab my laptop. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back with the laptop, and now I can take a look at the teams. So I'm just going to go in order and then I'll explain. There's 10 teams in PA, 8 teams in Ohio, 1 team, and I'll start with them. Let me find them. Right here. Nope, what am I talking about? Right here, the Nightmare. They are the Erie High Nightmare, but they are in the Western Conference. With the rest of the Ohio teams, there's just more recognizable places, at least for me, in PA than there are in Ohio. So we have 10 PA towns and 8 in Ohio. The only PA team in the West is the Erie High Nightmare. Next, the Scranton High Stingers. Next is the Mount Appalachian High School Dragons. The Youngstown High Dodgers. After that is the Dayton High Warhawks, and then the Allegheny High Pumas. After that, the Springfield High Yellow Jackets, and then of course the Hershey High Cougars, who we will be controlling and playing as. After that, I need to capitalize their team, but it's the Canton High Bulldogs. And then the West Penn High Great Danes. After that is the Toledo High Rams. And then we're going to have to explain the Warrior Frogs in a second, but they are the Wilkes-Barre High Warrior Frogs. After that is the Salem, Ohio High Cutlass. And then the Akron Area High Bears. After that is the Harrisburg High Beasts. And then the Altoona High Indians. The Williamsport High Bison. And then we're back to the Eagles of Cedar Point High. The Cedar Point High Eagles. And that's our 18th team. Nightmare, of course, are from Erie. So there's the 18 teams. Let's go through and explain the rule changes, league history. Rule change history. Here we go. Players drafted at 18. That doesn't matter. Short-term contracts like 7 days, 10 days are eliminated in all games. AKA the All-Star game will have 4 regular timed quarters. No 5-second basket. 5-second back to the basket, and then opposing teams 4 fouls in a quarter for bonus, 4 fouls in a single quarter and overtime. And then possession arrow rule, which didn't work last series. We'll see if it works this series. You have to advance the ball past half court in 10 seconds. You foul out in 5 fouls. There's no shot clock. Top teams across the entire league. So it doesn't matter what conference you're in, but the best teams across the entire league will be seeded from, I believe it's 1 to 16, so only 2 teams won't make the playoffs. Rising Stars game will be rookies versus sophomores. That will be broken for the first 2 years, but in years 3 and 4, it will be sophomores versus freshmen. And then all-star teams are the top vote getters in each conference, and only 10 from each conference. No draft lottery, but we won't need it. Is there more? Yep, there's more. Nope, never mind, that's just it. Okay, so that's the rule changes. Now let me explain. First, we'll just take a look at we'll take a look at Canton, because I have to change them anyway. Team branding. The Bulldogs. Canton High School Bulldogs. So let's take a look at their arena. Look at this. Just like a high school gymnasium. So this is how every single team's, except one's, court looks like. Every single team but one looks very similar to this. It's in the same gym with the bleachers on the side. and hoops hanging from the ceiling. They all look like that except one gym, which is the Warrior Frogs. When I can find them, here they are. It's the Wilkes-Barre Warrior Frogs. They are the only team that has a different arena, and this is where they play. Ever heard of the AHL team, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, the minor league team of the Pittsburgh Penguins? Yep, that's this arena right here. Well, sort of. It's the 2K imagination of it. This is where they will play their home games. But aside from that, I don't know what else I need to explain. I guess let's go through our roster. Let's go through our roster, and then our next episode will be the first game. Starting at point guard. Starting at point guard will be 5'10" junior, number 5, Carmen Campazzo. And backing him up will be sophomore, 5'8" sophomore, number 2, Marco Borrego. Starting at shooting guard will be senior, 6' senior, number 24, Mackenzie Kuzmiskis. There we go. Other shooting guards are 6'1" junior, Sammy Foltz, 5'11" senior, Braden Vasquez, 5'10" sophomore, Mikey Hickerson, and 5'10" freshman Sean McCulley. Now small forwards starting will be 6' senior Jesse Austin. And then the 2 backups will be, oh gosh, he's a lot better than he's supposed to be. It's because he was originally a shooting guard, so I'm going to move him back to shooting guard just for now. Move him back to shooting guard. You see, this team is my team, so I specifically did their attributes according to how I wanted them to play. I didn't want them to be too good, but I didn't want them to be inaccurate. So Jesse Austin will start at small forward, and then another small forward is 6'1" sophomore Tyler Fedor. Yeah. Now pretty much our star sophomore power forward, 6'2", number 22, Ryan Heckman. And then backup is 6'5", sophomore Dave Kolomak. Now we move to centers. Our starting center is 6'4" senior, number 25, Trent Mickey. And then 2 more centers, 6'3" sophomore James Dario, and 6'5" senior Andy McClellan. Forgot to mention 6' freshman Ryan McClellan is the other shooting guard who was at the small forward spot. So that's our team. And we play, let's take a look. We play here. We need to edit this. Borrego doesn't start. I want Campazzo to start. Oh, I gotta go through how we play and stuff. Got to give the seniors some minutes, don't you think? And then we'll just have the freshmen for now. We'll just have them there. Now we'll have the freshmen. No, it wants Dave Colmack and Sean McCulley there. So just to start, we're going to give everybody some time. But other than that, who deserves one more minute? Do Fultz one more minute. So we're at home. We're going to be at home for game one. One thing I forgot to do was just be happy I didn't make you watch all of this. Accessories, brand, away accessories, probably white, alternate accessories, white again. All right, so I think that's going to be it for this episode. We got the Warrior Frogs. We're playing them in episode 2, I suppose, because this is the setup episode, but I will call this episode 1. I gotta show quickly the gameplay. So general, 8-minute quarters. We'll play 8-minute quarters as well. 1 game playoffs because that's just how high school rolls. We're never going to have expansion. Injuries are on. Hall of Fame difficulty. Fatigue and recovery rate was supposed to be changed just a little bit. And no dunks, pretty much. Rarely any dunks. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks everybody for watching this episode. Wait, take a look at mock drafts. See this guy? He is a D-. They're all terrible. They're all 40 overalls. But yeah, without further ado, thanks everybody for watching episode 1. Stay tuned for episode 2 of the high school hoops series here on localized content on YouTube, localized_content on Twitch. And I'll see you all in episode 2 for the season opener. Game 1 of 17 regular season games against the something Warrior Frogs. Against the Wilkes-Barre High Warrior Frogs. Thanks everybody, and goodbye.